Hello, this is VP Nursky and VP Hand from Above coming to you guys with game number 4 of the match between our pink Terran spawning over here to the top left position on the map Taldir Maltar LE, VPAnathorn. He has just picked off his first game against SenDoh, taking the series to 2-1, so maybe trying to rally back, but we will see what he actually ends up doing. Our other opponent over here spawning as the blue Terran is going to be SenDoh. He is up in the series 2-1, so it will be on VPAnathorn to try and pull back into the game. So we will have to see what Anathorn can try and get done to see if he can get back into this game hand. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, he's still got a mountain to climb, but he just definitely took the... He blew the sails out of SenDoh, thinking SenDoh's going to get the easy 3-0. So,
yep,
I definitely think he's going to... He'll have the advantage this game. He'll have the psychological advantage at least this game.
He might indeed. We will see how this actually ends up playing out. Players are in the closest possible positions they could be on this map. Besides maybe the two bottom positions, which would be equidistant as well to these positions. So we do have the first scouting SCV going out for Anathorn. Scouting SCV is out on the way for SenDoh as well. Barracks getting made by both players. Refinery getting taken for SenDoh. Getting taken for VPAnathorn as well. So both players once again opening with mirroring builds. SCVs are going to do a little pass by as they go by each other. Anathorn's SCV looks like it's going to get to the base of SenDoh just a teensy-weensy little bit sooner. We'll see that first barracks going up. We'll see the refinery. Actually going to go for some worker harass instead. Poking at
He might get it, actually.
He may indeed kill the worker if he doesn't pull him. Worker moving over. Worker still taking damage. Here finally comes the other worker to save his buddy, so those will be fine. Ends up building his first Marine, just getting started now. Back in the base of Anathorn, Marine on the way. That worker just cruising around the base, wants to maybe keep it alive as long as humanly possible. Slow down the build of their opponent. Orbital command, about halfway done for Anathorn. About a little under halfway done for SenDoh, so SenDoh a little bit further behind with the orbital command, but for the most part, both players about doing approximately the same thing right now. We'll see how they actually decide to differ their builds in just a moment, as the Marines now are shooing out the last of the SCVs. SenDoh trying to be annoying and keeping this SCV alive as long as possible. Down to 3 hit points. The SCV is going to try and run away. Looks like a little bit more of a leg complaint once again from SenDoh. SCV running away, and it looks like the SCV is actually going to just barely get away. VPAnathorn's SCV does actually live to see another day, as well as he will get out of the base of SenDoh. So the Marines are now set up at the front of the bases. But it looks like SenDoh is actually going to go for a fast command center, going 1 barracks into command center. Exact same build that we saw him use on the map Shattered Temple. So it'll be interesting to see if he actually executes that build exactly the same, or if he varies it up a little bit. He did win that game, so we'll see what ends up happening. Meanwhile, back in the base of Anathorn, we do have a fast factory on the way. First barracks already done, not getting an add-on on it this time. Second refinery just now finishing up for him. So yeah, SenDoh going with the more macro style again this game, adding in his factory just a little bit later than Anathorn's. Anathorn actually going 1-1-1 straight into a fast starport. Does have a tech lab down, so he is probably going to Lego block, flip those buildings. I could definitely expect to see some Banshees on the way, hand from above.
I definitely agree with you on that one. It's a great type of harass. It might not be, my type of cheese where I can harass, so I'm going to do something like that. But, Banshees are very legit. I mean, if you don't expect them and you don't get them. But look what he's getting before that. He's got Blue Flame.
Yep, I'm thinking Blue Flame Hellion drop is actually the route he is going to go. Does have some Hellions started already. Has started Blue Flame. Would expect to see him get out 3 or 4 Hellions before he can build his first medevac. And it's probably going to do a drop, especially with the position of this Hellion. Has it tucked over on the corner of his base towards his opponent. So I'm really expecting a Blue Flame Hellion drop here. But once against Flyblock, just temporarily. But now he is able to continue building. Second Hellion almost done. Third Hellion will be on the way shortly. So yeah, I'm definitely going to expect to see 2, 3, maybe even 4 Blue Flame Hellions dropped into the base of SenDoh. This could be very good considering SenDoh's opening. If we look at the income tab really quick, we see SenDoh actually surprisingly still behind in Harvesters even with the expand, but he will catch up very quickly and even pull ahead in the not too distant future. SenDoh researching siege mode, going for 2 barracks, tech lab on 1 factory. is just now starting stim. No additional barracks or anything for VPAnathorn. That first medevac is now completed. Has picked up 3 Hellions. Blue Flame just about to finish up as the drop is on the way. Blue Flame does now finish. Another Hellion on the way, and he's going straight towards the back of the base of SenDoh. SenDoh has no idea this is coming right now. Meanwhile, back in Anathorn's base, he's going to expand behind this drop. So probably looking to do some damage and then get the heck out of dodge maybe. So we'll see if this actually pans out. We do have a supply depot towards the corner of SenDoh's base. May have briefly spotted the medevac, but I see no reaction from SenDoh. Probably not going to even see this coming. Here comes the Hellion straight towards the mineral line. No reaction from SenDoh just yet. Frying SCVs instantly. A couple of SCVs getting picked off right away. 4 kills on these. 5 kills on some of them. More SCVs going down. It is an SCV massacre in the back of the base of SenDoh. Even to pick off that one that was building a supply depot for SenDoh. Shoots a couple of times at the refinery. Here comes the Marines. Looks like Anathorn is going to decide to micro against these Marines. Some really great micro, actually keeping all these Hellions alive, killing most of the Marines of SenDoh. Anathorn is now going to pick off some more SCVs as he brought them back just a little bit too early. Oh, this is not looking good for SenDoh at all. SenDoh losing a ton of forces. Does have a siege tank now. Is going to be able to shoo away these Hellions. Anathorn goes to pick off the Hellions, but actually misclicks and misses one of them, but does end up getting them out. Only loses one of the Hellions, but oh, the damage he has done. If we look at the income tab, it is 10 harvesters only of SenDoh versus the 29 harvesters of Anathorn. His expansion is just now coming online. Orbital command is getting started. If we look at the base of Anathorn, he's now adding a couple of barracks. 3 barracks to be exact. Got a tech lab going down on one, a reactor on another. Wouldn't be surprised to see yet another reactor on his other barracks. Meanwhile, in production is now a Banshee as we bring up the
with KoA
once again. And KoA indeed.
So, I mean, SenDoh's going to have to make the choice now. Do I use a scan? Or do I get, you know, my mule?
Yep, is going to have to make that decision as to if he thinks he would be safe from something like Banshees. He does know that Anathorn has a starport. Does know he went for a fast factory in Hellions. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. Looks like he is actually saving some scans, not just spending them all right away, but just as I say that, there comes down some mules. There is now not enough energy for scan on either one of these orbital commands, as the first Banshee is shortly to be on the way. And here comes the medevac once again with those blue flame Hellions. SenDoh has nothing to spot this, and here we go again. Anathorn getting ready to move into the base of SenDoh, straight into the mineral line. Fries one worker already, gets another worker. Third worker does go down, chasing off those mules that well. Kills a Marine. There goes another SCV. So much damage being done by these blue flame Hellions of VPAnathorn. Now they're just poking at the command center. Here comes the Marines, losing yet another Marine. Tons of kills on those as they do die, but they do manage to take off 3 SCVs with them. And there is that first Banshee. Banshee has made it to the base. Now Cloak is complete, harassing the expansion mineral line of SenDoh. Banshee's going to back up. Cloak's picking off a couple of Marines. No scans yet on these orbital commands. This is very bad for SenDoh. He did end up spending all his energy on mules instead of having someone saved up for scans. Already lost 1 tank. Could easily potentially lose another tank. Looks like SenDoh is actually going to try to back up towards his turret, but this tank might still die. Does lose that tank to VPAnathorn. Now he's shoving at the Marines. Marines poking forward, might have a scan saved. Actually does not. Was feigning that he had a scan. Do look, neither command center is quite ready for a scan. 42 and 48. One is just about to have a scan in a second, but man, SenDoh is taking a ton of damage from his Cloaked Banshees. Does pick that one off. No other Banshees on the way just yet. That one medevac is hanging out. No blue flame Hellions in it, but we look at the base of VPAnathorn. He has a huge force, 2 tanks, a couple of Marauders, some Marines, another Banshee. 3rd command center even on the way. Look at the production facilities. 3 barracks. Starport. Plenty of tank production. Even has the tank production queued up. He's trying to build so many tanks. Here comes that first Banshee. Gonna cloak and move forward. But SenDoh does have a scan and easily picks off that Banshee. So that Banshee not going to be able to pick off these 2 tanks of SenDoh. So SenDoh does have somewhat of a defensive position now. This is going to actually prompt Anathorn to back up a little bit and go the other way. Does not want to get into the face of SenDoh's siege tank lines. That is the mistake he made in a couple of these games. Lost almost his entire army both times. So it looks like he's just going to push towards the 3rd of SenDoh. Not going to see anything there. Might actually make a loop around back to the back of the base. Picks off that SCV, so SenDoh does know that Anathorn is trying to wrap around, moving his forces now to try and intercept. Does not want to let those forces into his natural. That'd be terrible for SenDoh if he got put out of position that badly, as TVT is a very positional game. Here comes
he was dropped in the base.
Oh, and a drop in the back of the base. Here it comes. A couple of Marines shooting down, but a ton of Marines for SenDoh are going to easily clean up that drop. Meanwhile, back at the front of the base, that Banshee does get picked off easily with a scan, so not much damage, if any, done from VPAnathorn with the drop or with the push around the side. So SenDoh's starting to stabilize a little bit, but at what cost? As we do see him down 64 to the 104 supply of Anathorn. If we look at the income tab, 50 harvesters of Anathorn versus the measly 22 of SenDoh. I do not know what SenDoh is going to do to bounce back into this game. This is a much worse position than he's been in the past. Normally either has some kind of a worker or army advantage. Looks like SenDoh is going to choose to try and push out hand.
I do not really agree with that too much, because he knows he's behind, so I think this is more of like a, push to see if he can really take down Anathorn's army. But look at this.
Yep,
5 siege tanks.
Yep, wisely sending in an SCV first is SenDoh to see what Anathorn has. Anathorn likewise is going to send out 1 Marine. Scouts that his opponent does not have a lot of stuff, just going straight down to the bottom. Is going to just push straight into this. Uses the Marauders to tank some of the siege tank damage. His siege tank's getting put up. His Marines getting bowled up a little bit. So he does lose a good bulk of his Marines, but he is going to clean up the tanks from SenDoh. It does look like only 2 tanks remaining. A couple more forces coming down from the natural to clean up those tanks. So it does clean up the forces of SenDoh. SenDoh now down 46 supply to the 93 of Anathorn. Just this meager little force left for SenDoh. SenDoh retreating back to his base. Does not want to lose any advantage that he might have had. That Banshee now cloaking up, going to be poking at those Marines and those tanks. Loses 1 Marine. Banshee's going to chase that tank, try and take it out. No scans right now for SenDoh. We do look at the closest command center is up to 47, so we'll have a scan soon, but does not quite have it yet. Only 45 on the other command center. Anathorn, however, is just going to pull back with that Banshee. 38 hit points left on it, and has gotten his 3rd started mining, so a huge advantage for VPAnathorn as he now moves in to try and harass with that Banshee some more. I don't know, Han, this is looking pretty bad.
It's really, really bad on this one. I'm sorry. I got nothing for that one except for, wow.
Yeah, Anathorn definitely in a commanding position. Would definitely have to try pretty hard at this point in the game to lose the game. So long as he doesn't do anything too risky, he should be able to just play straight up, keep his economic advantage.
He is pushing out.
Yep, we do have Anathorn as well, though. Is going to be starting his 4th. SenDoh pushing out. This might be a little bit more desperation than anything at this point in the game. Spotting forward with his medevac. On siege of tanks, so it looks like he's going to try and get to the edge of Anathorn. Anathorn does not have any air to spot. So if SenDoh creeps forward, he can potentially start firing on the army. But I mean, Anathorn has so much stuff at this point, almost 100 supply lead. He could pretty much just A-move into the army of SenDoh and crush it. And that is exactly what he's going to do. Moving forward, Marines melting away. Siege tanks are going to melt shortly thereafter. Turret was going up, but it melts. And now VPAnathorn is going to
stim A move. You got to stim that A move.
Yep.
Your turn.
A moves in the army, crushes forward. Anathorn with the early game antics, getting so far ahead of SenDoh at this point. Quickly looking at the income tab, 63 to 34 harvesters. I'm just not sure there's going to be anything SenDoh can do at this point in the game besides GG.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, yeah. Look at this giant Marauder army. I mean, these are mostly Marauders.
Yep.
Oh my.
Tons of Marines. I'm not set to busy. Somebody's being annoying. And there goes the GG by SenDoh. And that is going to be the end of this game. VPAnathorn will tie the series up at 2-2, and we are going to go into a Game 5 hand.
Could Anathorn become one of the elite ones?
I don't know.
Come back from 0-2.
It's definitely looking like he possibly could. Has looked very solid in these last 2 games, so we'll have to see what he ends up doing.
I can't wait. I'm on pins and needles. I am ready to go. I cannot wait.
Yep, and a big shout out to Photon Cycles as we head to the next game, since somebody decided to message me right in the middle of the cast and let me know that they want me to play Photon Cycles. But I think we're going to cast this next game first, because I think there's going to be some eager viewers to be able to see this set hand.
I agree. Let's get this one done.
All right, we'll head off to Game 5, and we'll see you guys there.